but without Drake, he wouldn't have had the product. Drake is the product, but without Drake, there wouldn't have been a 40.
Yeah, but you just said that 40 can't replicate what he did.
Well, he could replicate it, but not to the same level that that Drake brought him to, because Drake is the product, but he's also...
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's more the executive, like, producer of his brand, and it's almost like the executive producer doesn't want to bring back what we had. Like, maybe that's a good thing. You know, because, like, Drake, I don't think Drake gets enough credit for, like the actual aesthetic decisions that,
well,
like,
he's a pioneer in the industry.
But
the reason why Drake never gets the accolades that he deserves, other than like a Grammy or that mainstream attention or, you know, the fanboys and fangirls, is because he had to forcefully make his way into the industry. And mind you, if it wasn't money behind it, Lil Wayne wouldn't have signed him. So he had to force his way into the industry, and so that's why he's always been the black sheep. He wasn't black enough to be black, but he was too black to be white. So
yeah,
that's part of the reason why I don't believe Drake would ever, like, he's a GOAT and he's a legend in his own respect, but he's not mainstream like GOATed.
In the hip hop art, like New York, like where these guys get together in the barbershop and like talk about.
He's never gonna be in that conversation. Like, people will still give him his roses. Like,
I think he is in the conversation by default because of the numbers and because of like all of the fame. But as somebody who's like really in the game, yeah.
But if you look at a lot of his past work, that is like anybody who's deeply into music and actually who's taking in everything that hip hop, rap, and music has to offer, you would like. Drake would be a no-brainer. It's just like when people say, "Oh, like Lil Wayne, he has all this like mumble rap."
Yeah,
but it's some of his like.
But
Lil
that's
Wayne's,
the thing with Lil Wayne too, is where if these artists are great, okay, bro, if these artists are like okay, you know, Life of Pablo is based off like Pablo Picasso, Pablo Escobar, could be
any Pablo,
you know, right? But like the
Michael,
idea of being
Michael.
like a great person or like a great figure in history, right? And the thing with Kanye is, I know that people say that his last classic album, maybe you say his last classic album was Donda, or maybe you say his last classic album was like Life of Pablo, and then a lot of people say that it was before that he hasn't dropped a classic album since.
I would say Graduation was a classic.
Whatever the case is, I think it's very hard to argue that Kanye is gonna lose cultural relevance like Drake has lost it. Because every time Drake comes around with a new album, he's got to like create this like whole like, you know, we're going to put like 1,000 ice cubes in, you know, and have people. It's a marketing stunt because he doesn't have the artistry and I'm not saying he's not a genius executive. Bro, I'm not saying he's not a genius executive producer, someone who was groundbreaking and made like the most money off of what he does.
He just doesn't have the swag.
Bro, Kanye came back at 50 years old and he was chopping samples and people lost their minds because they were like, that is what we've been missing.
No, but he doesn't have the natural God-given swag.
Who?
I'm saying Drake.
He
curated
I think we agree. My thing is, as an artist, as a commercial consumer, people are really drawn to what they like, their impulses, their pleasures, their comforts, the hype, the hysteria,
but there's a science
the makeup, the wardrobe. Yes, and I'm saying Drake is the puppet master. He's got like this ability to be, and I don't even know if he is. He's just got this ability to play the role of that guy who's like the face of it. He's the best at being the face of it. But I feel like his relevance is just up and down whenever he wants it to be, and he's earned that privilege. But
it's also because his relevancy and everything that he's curated has all been curated.
Yes, and I'm saying that since that curation, like, you've got a Drake album almost every year, right? Next year, there's going to be another curation.
Really? I feel like
he's been very consistent.
Very,
He's
very other.
Okay.
Every other, like, he skips a year.
This is how it is. He was dropping every year until
Right.
the last few years,
Yeah,
and then now it's been a while.
But
And
that's also because he knows where he's at in terms of relevancy and where he's at in his career. He can't keep pushing out like that.
I agree. When you saw
album.
you remember Her Loss with 21 Savage, and when they did the Howard Stern, like they staged like a Howard Stern thing, like they made a promo that looked like he went on the Howard Stern show and all these like different shows. That was like a scheme, and it was curated, right? And that scheme changes from release to release, so it never feels like
natural
Drake. Like,
right.
And nothing was the same as my favorite Drake album because it just feels like Drake. Like, it just feels like that time. It just feels, not even that time, it just feels like what...
Well, he was authentic.
Whatever the idea of Drake is, that seems more real to it.
It
than,
showcases him, for who for the person he genuinely
and
was.
what I'm wondering is...
But that's why it's also my favorite album that he's ever created. Because you have the, Take Care before, right? And it was like, he had all these bangers like The Moto and Marvin's Room. You know, all these things that are, like, all these songs that are like, they'll never lose relevancy because they're just they have so much musical depth.
Yeah, but you're
also
not
cultural relevancy.
Yeah, and like I don't know, maybe it's me, but like I feel like you don't see that as much anymore. And whoever the artists are behind Drake, they're just not as cold as the ones behind Kanye because or it's Drake himself and Kanye himself. And that's my opinion, is that it's the artist himself. And that's why I think Kanye is up here as an artist and everyone else is down there, because he's 50 and he still comes out with these projects. And that's me as a fanboy speaking. But you see some artists
because
like...
you see people that he signed like Big Sean and
That's true.
all these
That's true.
That's true. It's like a pioneer and an envisionary. They can see the talent and they can see, but you can't force somebody. You can't teach how. You can't force somebody to create good music. But if you can understand that it's within them, but you can't force it out of them, and you also cannot teach it. It's something that's what's the word I'm looking for? It's something that's just intuitive. Mm-hmm. You either have it, you don't, or it's something that just comes.
But where did it go though? Because it
didn't go anywhere. It's just it's lost in the mess.
There was too much
with Drake.
Do you think it was a result of the marketing trying to do too much?
It's over engineering.
Okay.
And it's also
I love that answer because that's
it's over engineering. It's the algorithm. Like, there's too many moving parts. Like, back in the day, you didn't have all these options. Like if you wanted to listen to somebody's song, you had to go buy their album. And you weren't gonna skip through it. You were gonna listen through a whole thing. Why? Because you bought it. Now with Spotify, with SoundCloud, all these streaming services.
Yeah.
It's like
I agree with that too. It's the landscape is changing, but the thing is, art is art, and no matter how much technology you have, that's the thing is we're coming to this breaking point where people are thinking that like art is just going to go away because a computer is going to do it better, and it's just not the case, and that's a different conversation, but real art still exists. Like I still find great music all the time on TikTok, and what I think is that these commercial acts are Disneyland, and they have done 100% the right thing that they needed to do for their pockets. And these big acts, these labels don't just have families to feed and artists, but they have shareholders. Like they have billionaires.
Yeah, so their stock always has to go up.
Yeah, and maybe the reconciliation is these artists probably all did what was right for the bag.
For the bag, but not necessarily for their career.
Or the art. And that's what I'm saying
look
is
at what Birdman did to Lil
And that's
Wayne.
what I'm saying. On two levels. You have society coming to this thing where it seems like there's a need of a renaissance where like you had the 2010s where hip hop was just like insane. Like it was just crazy. Like 2016 was just like crazy.
For modern hip hop, I think from like 2009 probably to like 2019, that decade was just straight bangers. You had Rihanna, you had Justin Bieber coming out, like you know Taylor Swift was switching over from country. Drake was hitting the scene.
I just feel like something's
Big
missing.
Sean.
I feel like something is missing. Where is, and am I just checked out, or is the music industry is dying, and now what you see commercially can't possibly be the best shit. And it used to be the 2000s were a perfect marriage between commercialism and art, where you got great stuff, and now the commercialism's gone too far, and the art that lives within the commercialism is just not that good anymore.
Well, but that's the thing though, is that it's a business. So like that's also, you could also make the same argument that was the pinnacle between technology being digital and analog, and it's like you have the digital being pushed, and then you have the analog being pressed, and they met at the perfect time. It was the apex.
Right.
And now it's like everything is digital, and they understand that, like, look at TikTok now. Like, the time was just wrong. Like, you had Vine, so why didn't Vine stick back then? Because people still had an attention span. Nowadays, you have all these iPad kids running around, and if a song's over a minute and a half, you lose them.
Yeah.
Like, look at all these club bangers. A club banger, by definition,
the
can't
DJ literally has to switch the song, or else the vibe is just like, okay, I'm gonna go get a drink. Like, this song has been going forever. Yeah. Yes, bro, and I think that's naturally where society's going, like, good or bad. Like, we can't just say, like, complain about it all day and be like, you know, we need to bring back what was. Maybe that's just like the way it's going, but I still want real shit. Like, even if it's a minute and a half, I just want good shit. And the only place I hear it is like somebody who has like 400 monthly listeners. Yeah. You know, and it's just
that's how it is. Good art is always going to be good. Whereas when you have...
It used to be way more, I don't know.
It wasn't that it was more prevalent. It was just easier to access. Now you have so much... content being thrown out.
Dude, I think you're nailing it, because now you can see everything. It's not like those artists weren't there before.
Right, but then
there were always starving artists.
Still part of the reason why a lot of these artists sell out, and they're like, oh, I know I could make it as an independent artist doing it by myself, but I will never get that. And it's also part of the thing that we all struggle with, is we want to be out there, we want to be known, we want to be famous, we want that notoriety. But you know that if you don't have the backing of the label or the algorithm or whatever it might be to push you to the mainstream and to the masses.
Yeah, and I think that's what you see. That's what the commercial side is able to do. The commercial side is able to.
But that's why it's so hard.
Take you and spin you and create that engagement, and running good ads and having good music in general and posting good TikToks will do that for you. You know.
But a bigger thing behind it nowadays is really branding and image, you know, like it takes you.
Well, it's all just fractured. It
takes you years. I think decades to build a brand, but you can lose it in seconds. Like, look at Kanye, what he did when he was coming out with Adidas. Oh, I'm Yeezy, and then as soon as boom, everything.
I think what it is. I think the final piece to maybe what we're trying to figure out is everything, because of the internet, and because of the ability to visualize all these artists. And you can see that this might be a good point too. They're fighting against it. You can't get organic growth as easily now. You have to pay for it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to pay to promote.
I mean, 6ix9ine exposed that.
This might be the big elite, the elites hearkening back to, man, we liked it when we could control everything, and a lot of this attention wasn't divided. Because right now, my favorite rapper is some fucking nobody in Alabama some white kid in Alabama who nobody fucking knows. He's got 20,000 monthly listeners. You know what I mean? And it's all fractured, and all of this attention is going elsewhere. And so when America...
But it also depends on what you're seeking as an individual and as an artist. Like, if you want to be pushed to the mainstream, like, you're going to lose some of your following, and you're also going to lose some of that character that you once had,
and that's more
it gets lost with all the red tape that's surrounding it. Like, you have to tone certain things down.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you have money behind you, they're gonna.
But would you rather have 100 diehard followers and listeners that are gonna show up to your concert
if they buy a hoodie every month?
1,000 diehard fans, or would you rather have 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and then when you go, you get a little baby, then you have to literally cancel half your tour because people don't show up? Like,
I know, and that's the thing is, that's what I was saying. It's just like, a facade. It's like the marketing can go really far. It's just.
But it's always gonna fall flat on its face when it comes to people actually showing up.
Well, when it comes to people having a hunger for something real.
Yeah, but those are also your diehards, because if you don't have any diehards behind you, like, you can have 1 million monthly paid for listeners that are bots.
Yeah.
And none of them are actually those bots aren't gonna show up.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And that's, I think that's like worse. That's like even worse than selling your soul and having a label tell you what to do is doing it yourself. Just like sabotaging your integrity yourself by yourself from your own IP address. But anyway, like, it's just that things have changed, and the nostalgia that I had in college when I was listening to Nothing Was the Same is just.
Yeah, but that's
it's not,
what it is.
It's not here anymore.
It's always gonna hit like that,
and that's probably for the best too.
You're also always gonna chase that because that was at that particular time. In
Yeah,
your life.
and
that's
now
why it's so
now
hard to
it is a blessing that I think it's it's a problem too, because I do want a great artist I follow who can be in the mainstream. I don't think the mainstream's a bad thing. The mainstream is where influence lies. So everyone knows who this random dude clavicular is. Do you know who that is?
No.
Internet yesterday. But everyone knows who this random streamer is, just because he has all this money and all these clippers pushing him and everything. And it's just like, when you get down to it, all these people are going to jump ship once they realize.
Is he like that guy, what's his name?
XQC? No. Wait. That's going to fuck up the connection.
My bad, bro.
No, you're good. XQC is like a real streamer. Clav is looks maxer.
Oh.
You know what that is, right? Yeah.
Is he the one, I see him all with all that crazy jawline and stuff?
Yeah. He literally got I think he got height surgery. I think he got
He's TikTok famous?
He's everything famous.
Oh, okay.
Because he has.
I've heard of him then.
He has billionaires.
I just don't know him by name, or I would know his face.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a second channel or something. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. I just thought I'd put the camera on because we were spitting. So we're spizzing. Bye, guys.